Shalom, Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. All praise to the Most High Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shah. Shalom to all the brothers out there pushing this truth. Shalom to all the sisters out there, all the Akims and Akwakims. This lesson here is shorter, exhortation. It'll be short. I'm going to run a few videos, right? Briefly, I'm going to touch on just the word Negro, because a lot of people was like, well, I think I did I did several, but I did one showing who Esau, if you will, was throughout the scriptures. But I'll do one showing us. I didn't figure we had to, right? But a lot of people just say read Deuteronomy 28. That's all you need. Well, a lot of people are not able to receive the spirit, receive the interpretation, and that's by prophecy. Because it's not for everyone, it's for the elect. So hopefully by the end of this, the elect, you brothers and sisters, have been edified. So I'm going to play a video or two, and we're going to dive right into it. I've posted something like this before. If this goes to Instagram, it's the very second post on my page from the top, right? It goes over their own biblical scholars. They know exactly who the so-called Negroes here are. So I'm going to play a video, stop it in between. I'm going to play a few, right? We're going to get into, they've always called us the N-word, right? I'm going to say it so it don't get flagged on different platforms. But they've always called us Negroes. The word Negro, actually, if we understand it and research it, it goes back to Hebrew. So them calling you a Negro, like, that's who we are. But anyway, I'm going to play a few. Let's get into it. Let me see if this will play.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. Wait, the churches and the pastors, which are set up by the government, all teach in unison a doctrine that all black people come from the seed of Ham. But once you open up scholastic sources, you'll find out that the biblical scholars say something totally different from what's taught in Orthodox Christianity. What do they mean by Ham is the father of the dark races, but not the Negroes? The Negroes themselves are a dark race of people. So how can you say that Ham is the father of all these dark races and exclude the Negroes? What are the biblical scholars trying to convey? What the biblical scholars are saying is that you're not African. There's only 4 families, according to the Bible, that make up the native population of Africa, or the land of Ham. And the biblical scholars know that you don't descend from any one of those 4 families. In order to write that in a scholastic and academic book, the biblical scholars have done extensive and thorough research on both the so-called Negroes and the Africans, the native Africans. And they came to the conclusion after the extensive research that the Negroes don't have anything to do with the native Africans at all. They're 2 totally separate people. In the 1840s, Morton collaborated with George R. Glyden, an Egyptologist, who provided him with mummy heads and information about the racial significance of Egyptian tomb inscriptions. In Crania Aegyptiaca, published in 1844, Morton pointed out that both cranial and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not Negroes. In 1840, Dr. Morton was trying to find out the racial origin of the so-called Negroes that were in America in slavery. So he got together with the Egyptologists, which supplied him with the mummy heads. And what he did was conduct an extensive research on the cranial remains of the heads in Egypt, in contrast to the cranial remains of the heads in America.
And I'm going to pause it right here for a second, right? So in other words, what he's saying is real quick. Esau has always been, what it says, a liar from the start, father of lies, murderer, etc., right? They always doing research on different bodies. They used to cut open Hebrew women's in slavery, right? And see how much pain y'all could take, right? Henrietta Lacks and all that, with y'all jeans and stuff. They've always done that. This book, I have this book as well, right? And I have it in PDF as well. This book, they took the cranial remains from one person out of every, not just Negroes and Egyptians, They took the cranial remains of so-called whatever, right? Of you French or German or even it does not. They took the cranial remains of every single person that they've had and compared it. That means they ran their scientific tests and they found that only the so-called Negroes. That's why we say so-called, right? Because that goes back to Ibar, right? They called Abraham the Hebrew, right? They called him a Negro, called him the Hebrew. That's what that means, right? They called him a Iberite, which is a Hebrewite, which is a Hebrew Israelite. They called Abraham that. Okay, so my point is, he's going to get into it. I'm gonna skip past it because it's kind of long, but with their own scientific studies, they found that only us matched them 1,000% without the shadow of a doubt. So no, the Israelites are not done away, and now the church is Israel, right?
Found out is that the Negroes that were in slavery were not Africans. He found out that the skulls were two totally different types of skulls. The Negro's head was longer than the Egyptian head. The physical characteristics from the outside look similar with the thick lips and the broad nose. But once you start delving into the real characteristics, he found out that they were two totally different people, as abolitionists and colonizationists had maintained, and that in fact, blacks had been relegated to the same servile position in ancient Egypt as in modern America. But what Dr. Morton did discover is that the Negroes that were serving slavery in America served the same position in servitude in ancient Egypt. When they matched other skulls and other cranial remains. So what are the scholars saying? What you're going to find out is that they're saying that you are the biblical Israelites. Yes, you're the same exact people that served slavery in the land of Egypt. You're the same exact people that God sent Moses to go redeem under the hand of Pharaoh. I'm
gonna pause right there and then get into some more. We're gonna get into some history and then some scriptures on it, right? Notice he said we was in Egypt, the same people that Yahweh sent Moses, right, to redeem out of there, right? So we're going to touch on some more videos.
Because
right.
No one has looked for evidence of the Exodus in this period, the tomb has never been linked to the biblical story. And yet, there is a perfectly preserved wall painting here that records an ancient migration into Egypt from the area of modern Israel.
I posted this about 6 years ago.
As in the Bible, the scene involves bearded Semites riding donkeys and bringing their families and flocks into Egypt. Like the biblical Israelites, they are wearing multicolored tunics.
We've always been flashy.
The hieroglyphic inscription on this wall calls these people the Amo, God's people.
That's right. Let's get into some more.
History. Let's take a closer look.
Remember Moses, right? The Egyptians took him in.
At the time of the Exodus, there was a great storm. Moses Stella also talks of a great storm. The Bible says darkness descended on Egypt. The Stella says that Egypt was enveloped in darkness. The Stella then says something very peculiar. Though the Egyptians worshipped many gods, on this stela it is written that the storm and the darkness happened when God, in the singular, manifested his power.
Right, the most high by himself. So let's get into that, right? So the second post on my page, you can get into that. I'll break down further whatever the word Negro. But anyway, let's get right into it. Let's go right into the book of Numbers, right? So that's archaeological proof, scientific proof, right, of who we are, right? We're not Arabs. We're not Muslim. You shouldn't be in the nation of Israel. You shouldn't be a Nation of Israel meaning being a Muslim. No, those are religions. The Most High gave us a way to live. He gave us the laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay? You shouldn't be in a church. You shouldn't be in a Jehovah's Witness church, a Pentecostal church, a Catholic church, a Baptist church. The heathens created those. Every time we step foot in there, the Most High has made us get out. Anyway, let me go to Numbers real quick. Right? We go to Numbers 25, right? And 7, right? I'm going to just get straight to the high points, right? And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, Aaron was a Levite, correct? So a lot of people say, oh, well, Judah, the Negros. No. And the Levites are Negros too. Understand that. So it says, when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw it, he rose up. I'll just keep going. He saw it, he rose up from among the congregation, took a javelin in his hand, right? Now, my point is right here. So Phinehas is the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron. In other words, Aaron is his granddaddy, right? We're going to go into it, right? Look what they called him. Phinehas, right? And if we go down and get into the Hebrew lexicon of it, right? It's going to let us know exactly who he is. Let me get right into it because it's going to say, it's going to say exactly who he is. Hold on. Let me see. Phinehas. Salaki. I didn't mean it to take me back. Right? So we go here. Let me keep going down. Salaki. It's going to let us know. It should be right there. Hold on. Let me get into the other one because just in case they tried to remove it out. But it's going to let us know exactly who he is. Hold on. Right here in my book, I'm finna go get the book. So in my Strong's Concordance from 1898, right here it says Phinehas and it says the Negro. Oh, there. Well, here's one right here. This is the Briggs lexicon, which is the same thing, right? Let's see if I can highlight it. Right? Right here, right? Proper name, masculine, right? Phinehas, the Negro. So when you read, that was his nickname. We've always gave each other nicknames. So Phinehas was the son of Eleazar. He was Aaron's, because you are what your father is. He was Aaron's grandson. Now I'm gonna post a picture of the old Strong's Concordance from 1898. It literally just says the Negro, right? Or Niger, which is Niger, which goes back. That's where the word Nigger comes from. Okay. So matter of fact, let me show another one. Let me see if that's in here too. There's another one in Exodus. I want to say it's chapter 6. Salakia. There's another one in Exodus chapter 6. Right. The heads of Israel. Right. So everything is lined up through our fathers, right? So we just read it was the Negros that came out of Egypt, right? We just read that scientifically and with archaeological findings and all that, they know without the shadow of a doubt exactly who we are. That's why they start the eugenics program, right? That's why they do the stuff with our women with Henrietta Lacks and try to get them to eat a bunch of cornstarch, yellow corn, all this different stuff is to exterminate us. Okay, that's why they did that. I think it's Exodus 6, Salakia. Right, there it is. Exodus 6 and 25. And Eleazar, Aaron's son, took him one of the daughters of Putiel, right? To wife, and she bare him Phinehas, right? Which they just call him. You know how like we have some people in our family, right? Like some of our women are yellow bone, some of our men are brown skin, but some of them just be black. Like, be like, damn, that nigga, that was a Negro. Like, yeah, that's how we are. We come from different color shades of the earth. Look at Beyonce or Alicia Keys or somebody like that, right? They yellow bone or what we call red bone, but they still the color of sand, right? And you might say, well, dang, well, she mixed. Beyonce will be like, nigga, I ain't mixed. Nigga, I'm just light skinned. Like, I'm still a Negro. I'm still a nigga. Okay, right? So coming out of there, of course we are. Remember, they called, let's see if I get that real quick. They called Abraham, right? Ibar, right? In Genesis 10 and 24, right? And if you get into the Hebrew of that, right, it means Hebrewite. right? That's what they called him. Let me pull it up real quick. Genesis 10. Genesis 10 and unto Shem. Yeah, there it is. Right. Eber, right? Unto Shem, right? The father of all the children of Eber, which is, if we get into it, is where Abraham comes from, right? So they called him that as well. Let me get to 14. They call him that as well. I get that in, I think it's in Chronicles. I'll get that in a sec. Genesis 14, and I think it's around 12 or 13. Right there. Let me highlight that so people can just see it better. Let me highlight that. Right. Genesis 14 and 13. And there came one that had escaped and told Abraham. Now people might say, oh, well, that's Abram. That's Abraham, right? If we know about the scriptures, the Most High said, now your name Abraham now. Anyway, Abraham, the Hebrew, right? Or the Iber, or the Iberite, or the Hebrew Israelite. So we were always Hebrew. We Hebrew by bloodline. We know that. Right? Because even Esau is Hebrew. But the Israelites are Jacob. We Jakes. Right? Because remember he changed, Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Right? Esau, he didn't come from him. We come from the seed of Jacob. The so-called Negro people, we come from Jacob. We're Israelites. That's our bloodline. They've changed it and tried to make people think, oh, well, it's a cult and it's this and it's that. No, this is your bloodline. They've called Abraham that. We've always known that. Remember, in Deuteronomy, part of the curses were they were going to call us bywords, take our names, make everything bad. Psalms 83, they was going to make the, let me not paraphrase, let me just get there. In Psalms 83, right? I started verse 3 and 4. Right. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. They went over to Egypt, to Israel, everywhere we come from. They dig up archaeological findings. They destroy them. They paint the walls in Egypt. They try to paint them light skinned. They whitewash everything. You know, them people they have the highest skin cancer rate in the world. Them people can't be outside for longer than 2 hours. How are they going to be over there in a temperature 120 degrees? All of us over here in America, right, in Babylon, we're lighter than what we supposed to be. Because it ain't that hot over here. Well, I live in Texas and I live in Vegas. It's hot. Bro, you ain't outside all the time like we supposed to be. A lot of us, we are lighter because it's the land of the north. It's cooler over here. This is why, they call it, the new world. They're able to be outside and stuff over here. They're not burning up as much. That's why they live and dwell in the mountains and in the rocks and in the woods. Right? And near Tahoe and all that. This is why they do that. Right? So Psalms 3, they have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel, remember, we're Israelites because we come through Jacob, may be no more in remembrance. Now we call ourselves black. Now we call ourselves African American. Or now you got women saying I'm goddesses and men worshiping women saying the black woman is God. We're all over the place. We're all over the place. Right? So even with that, I just want to pull that up real quick because, it's a lot more I could go into it on. But I said I was going to get that in the Chronicles. Let me get that before I want to close out real quick. Right? And Chronicles, I think it's chapter 1. Right here, because we come from Shem, right? The sons of Shem. Right? So right there it says the sons of Shem. Chronicles 1 and 17. The sons of Shem, Elam and Ashur and Oxphazad, right? That's the line that we come through. We come through him. So a lot of people, they'll try to say, oh, Job, right? Well, Job was an Edomite. No, he wasn't. No, he was not. People say, well, look, he was of Uz. Man, that's like some people saying, if I live in California, I'm of California. Nigga, that don't mean I'm from there. That don't mean you can take the perfect example. You can take an orange seed from Florida, and planted in Idaho, where they known for potatoes, and planted in the dirt, is that now an Idaho orange, or is that just a Florida orange living in Idaho? The naked eye, oh, well, he's an Idahoan and all that. Like, nah, bro. That seed, that root, that bloodline, that's still a Florida orange. That's the same thing where people get confused with Job, right? That's in verse 17 right there, right? Right? So them the sons of Shem. So anyway, we'll keep going, right? Verse 19. And to Eber, right, or Ibar, were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg. That is who Abraham comes from, right? So it goes from Noah, Shem, Peleg, then down to Abraham. If you just go down to if you read those verses, that's the line that we come through. This is genealogy or trees, whatever they call them today. That's the line that we come through. Okay, so if Abraham and all of them were called Negros or Iberites or Hebrewites, Hebrew Israelites, Niger or Nigge, or I ain't gonna say it because of the platform, and that comes down to us. Let me get that in Genesis. That comes down to us. I think it's 25. See, Genesis 25. Yeah, the descendants of Ishmael. So we could stop right there. These you so-called, what people say, Arabs. It was that they all over there. This is off topic. They all over there fighting for land that's not theirs anyway. They think the blessing came down to Ishmael. All that Islamic, Nation of Islam, Muslim stuff, all that stuff is false. The blessing came. This is one thing I will say. Christians got this part right. The blessing and the kingdoms of heavens, all that stuff went from Abraham, Isaac to Jacob, right? So you see how this says descendants of Ishmael right there in Genesis 25 and 12. That went from Abraham, Isaac. Isaac had a son named Ishmael and Jacob, but the blessings went to Jacob, not to Ishmael. For the kingdom of heaven, Ishmael still got something, and that's why they living it up now. That's why you can go to Dubai now. Them boys got money. They making your celebrity or the richest man here in America look like he work at McDonald's. It's nothing. They making Floyd Money Man Mayweather look like he ain't got nothing. He over on his knees to them people right now. That's the blessings that they got right now. Okay. But we come from Jacob. So I want to get down to the point when I was at Esau. Okay, Isaac's sons, right? Abraham, Isaac. Isaac had who? Right? And these are the generations of Isaac's. Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac, right? Now I'm going to skip through this, just roughly paraphrasing. Isaac got with Rebekah. Whoop the whoop, whoop the whoop. Rebekah's another story in the scriptures, right? But she had two children, right? 25 to 27, etc. They had two children, Esau and Jacob. Right? And then Jacob's name would later change to Israel. That's why we call Israelites, because we come through Jacob. So by blood, if you want to go there, okay, cool. Esau's Hebrew by blood okay, but they not Israelites. And then they got Esau means wasted away anyway. They was just born. They were just born. Sometimes you have children, you might have 5. Let's just be real. One of them is a lost cause. And that's harsh to say, right? If you have, 8, 9, or you might have 2, 3, 4 different baby daddies, man, a few of them children be like, they be lost causes. They're finished. Wasted away. They got no, not those children, but Esau and them. Wasted away. No pigmentation. They're done. They're wasted away. Right? They have nothing. Their pineal gland starts to calcify at the age of 2. That's why they can't drink, dance, fuck, cook. They can't. That's why they can't do nothing. They have no rhythm. And you say, dang, they all be dancing to the same song, but at their own rhythm. They have no coordination. The Most High stripped all that away. They have none, right? Cain regenerator, if you will. But anyway, my point is, I want to show them a couple of videos, right? And then just also show that They know scientifically who we are, biblically who we are. So, I mean, this is nothing right there, right? The Briggs lexicon, right? It says proper name, masculine, right? Phinehas, and who is he? The Negro. So the Levites and everybody who Moses called out, if you will, right, were what? Negroes. Right. Of course, back then at that time, of course, we were Negro. Matter of fact, let me get back into that. I was finna close out. Let me get back into that. 6 and 25. Right, I'm gonna keep going. So Exodus 6 and 26. These are that Aaron and Moses, whom Yahweh said, bring out the children of Israel from the land of Egypt according to their armies. Right? And if we keep reading it, even upward, this is everybody in the bloodlines. Those so-called Negroes, the Most High said, all of them, go get them out. Matter of fact, we can get right back into that. Here's another one.
Clearly states that the Hyksos who ruled mighty Avaris were Semites like the Israelites, and that they left on a mass exodus, known as the Hyksos expulsion.
We have in the Bible the story of the Semites leaving Egypt and going eastward from Egypt. At the same time, independent of the Bible, we have a story of the Hyksos being expelled from Egypt. I think definitely the two stories are related. They're describing the same event from different viewpoints.